This week, we're going to talk about underquoting. When a real estate agent tells you a price a property should sell for, and it sells for way more than what the agent said. Why does that happen? Who's at fault? Who can you blame? What can you do about it? That's what we're going to talk about this week. So what is the issue? So before I go forward, let's go backwards a little bit, back to a normal market, which now was probably 4 or so years ago. An agent would quote a price to a seller, and the property would sell for a lot less than the price the agent told the seller. That's almost over quoting to a certain degree. Agents would tell sellers more than what the property was actually worth, and it would sell for a lot less. Buyers were really happy. Sellers were really unhappy. So keep that thought in mind as we move forward. So and this holds true not only for auctions, but also for when a property has a price on it and the first open is coming on Saturday. And you say to the agent, what do you think it'll sell for? And the agent says, well, we're listed at offers over $1 million, so maybe a little bit over, who knows? And then it sells for 1.5 million. Again, it's not necessarily underquoting, so let's talk a little bit more about that. So here's how the scenario normally plays out. Let's say an auction, for example, the agent gives you a guide price, you go, yippee, that's in our price range. You go out and you buy, making a bid at auction for dummies or have negotiate for dummies. You've got everything lined up. You may have even done a building and pest report to make sure what you're getting into is something that you want to take on. So you do all that, you show up at the auction, the price guide is 1 million. You're standing there, you got your little paddle ready, and the auctioneer goes, can we have a first bid? And someone goes 1.5 million. And you go, because you're prepared to pay 1.1, 1.2 maybe, not 1.5. So now you're mad, and the only person you can direct that anger at is the real estate agent. You can't direct it at the owner of the house because they have a right to get as much money as they want. You can't direct it at the other buyers who are willing to pay more than you. You can't direct it at yourself for having a budget, so you direct it to the real estate agent. So the bottom line is you missed out. And sometimes after the fact you find out what the buyer paid and you said, well, I would have paid that. Well, I would have paid more. Well, for an auction, it doesn't matter. You had your opportunity to pay that or pay more and you chose not to. Even if you're in a multiple bidding situation, like if a property has a price on it and you're one of 5 or 6 offers, the agent might say, hey, you have one chance to put your best offer on the table. And if your best offer is this and you go to here and you miss out, you can't complain about that. That's just how it works in this type of market that we're currently in. So what I'm trying to say is we're in a free market economy. We're in a situation where the government doesn't come in and say this should sell for X, and we do not want that. We don't want the government more involved in our industry. They're too involved as it is. So a free market says if a property is listed for this and a buyer wants to pay more, they can. So why does an agent say the price guide is this when it sells for this? Well, that's because as agents, we normally price things on what has settled, what has sold. And in a market that's going up, the last sale may have been this, the next sale is this. Well, then that's the price guide. Then the next sale is this. That's the price guide. And conversely, when it's going the other way, here's the last sale, it sells for this. Now that's the price guide. Here's the next sale, sells for this. There's the price guide. So it's not the agent's fault that they're underquoting. Now, does that happen sometimes intentionally? I'm sure it does. I have never done that, but I know it happens, but it looks a lot worse in a frenetic market that's going up faster than what I think it would, faster than what the sellers think it would, and certainly faster than what the buyers think it would. You know what I mean? And here's one of these, trust me. When you do procure a property, and 3, 5, 10, 20 years down the line, when you become a seller and the agent says, hey, the evidence price is showing this, but I think I might be able to get you this, you're not going to say, oh, wait on a minute, don't do that, because that's underquoting. We want to tell the buyers where the actual price is and not have them pay more than the market shows. You wouldn't say that. You'd say to the agent, hey, get me as much money as you possible. If here's the evidence and you can get me this, please go and do that. So again, this is only relevant for when you're a buyer, you get frustrated, but when you become a seller, you're going to go yippee. So your job right now in this type of market is to try and secure a piece of property, and then down the line when you become a seller, you will understand that this underquoting scenario really is nothing at all and it's not true, and you need to get over that and be able to buy a house, hopefully within the budget that you choose. Oh, and by the way, that that slower market maybe next week, next month, next year, or in 2 or 3 years. We just don't know, and that's, I suppose that's part of the frustration. So again, I suppose it goes to that old saying, difference between what you expect and what you accept is stress. So accept we're in this type of market, accept properties will sell for more than A, what they're worth, or B, maybe what you were willing to pay. If you accept that, then you'll have a lot less stress in this buying scenario. So that's it for this week. So if you're thinking about buying, give me a call. I'd love to tell you what we have coming up. If you're a seller, give me a call. We'll talk about our 11-phase system to get your property sold for the highest possible dollar, and to try and find out what buyers are willing to pay before we ever give them a price or put it on the market. And if you're a landlord and you want your property managed, call us and we'll tell you about our rental guarantees. That's it for this week. Next week, we're going to do the market update for what has happened, what is happening, and what I predict will happen in the next few months. That's it for now. Goodbye.